So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Rohda, and today I'm going to be talking about diligence. Diligence is a word that we don't use a whole lot, and so I kind of looked up some other attributes that play into that. And so some of those are being hardworking, faithful, disciplined, responsible, dependable, trustworthy, dedicated, timely, persistent, and committed. A lot of times though, when we're talking about diligence, I think we just focus on that first one, hardworking, and just use diligence in talking about what we do, being diligent in your sport or in the classroom. So today I'm going to talk about diligence a little bit differently, and that's diligence in building your character. In 1 Timothy 4:15-16, Paul is talking to Timothy about using his gifts for God, and he says, "Be diligent in these matters. Give yourself wholly to them so that everyone may see your progress. Watch your life and doctrine closely. Persevere in them, because if you do, you will save both yourself and your hearers." I want to focus on that middle part specifically. Watch your life and doctrine closely. Sports, classes, theater, choir, work, whatever, diligence in these areas is all really important, but developing your character, your values, and your worldview is just as important, if not more so. If your character is weak and you don't work on developing that, your actions will start to show. I decided to talk about this type of diligence actually a few weeks back while sitting in one of my psychology classes. We were talking about the development of character in adolescence, and Mrs. Eckert said something along the lines of, "A mistake is only a mistake the first time you make it. After that, it's a choice that will start to define your character." I was at a place where that really hit because that was something I personally needed to work on. And at about the same time, in our philosophy of living class, we were reading through Mere Christianity, and there's a section where C.S. Lewis talks about how every choice we make pushes us to become more like Christ or less like Christ. And during both these classes, I knew the topic I was supposed to talk about today, diligence, and it really hit me just how much those two ideas played together. So a big part of being diligent and building your character is self-examination. Psalms 139:23-24 is a verse that's really stuck with me through the years that speaks to this topic, I think. It says, "Search me, O God, and know my heart. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." I love this verse because it emphasizes the idea of self-examination and invites God into that process. This self-examination forces us to ask ourselves questions like, am I who I want to be? Am I who I say I am? Who I think God wants me to be? And am I becoming better every day and becoming the person of character I want to be? So in track, Coach Carver has a saying, "Better every day," that I think really encompasses this point of being diligent in developing your character. Developing your character and establishing your values and why you have those, and then changing these things when you come to a point where you're not happy with who you're becoming, that takes a lot of work and a lot of time. And it takes a mentality of wanting to become better every single day. I want to emphasize here that that is not easy. But it is really easy to fall into a trap of blaming where you're at in life, your character, and who you're becoming on someone else. They did that, or they didn't do that, or my teacher gave me that grade, or whatever. But ultimately, you're the only one who can change your character. Yes, the people and situations in our lives definitely can help or hinder that process, but ultimately, only you have control of your character. There are very few things in life we get total control over, but that is one of them. We are all at a time of our lives where we get to experience, learn, and do so many new things. Sometimes it's easy to just get caught up in the doing stuff. Getting good grades, doing well in your sport, in choir, in theater, whatever that looks like. So I want to challenge all of us today to not neglect building our character at the same time and being diligent in doing that. Taking the time to really figure out if you are who you want to be and if you're becoming that person. I want to challenge myself and you guys with the same thing Paul challenged Timothy with. Watch your life and doctrine closely. Only you can decide who you are going to be. No one else gets to decide that. If you are not becoming better every day and making the effort to daily become who you want to be, I challenge you to not be okay with that. I challenge you to be brave enough to realize where you're at in your character development, to realize if you're not where you want to be, to quit making excuses, to find help if you need it, and to start today with being diligent in developing your character. Thank you.
So thank you for that. Yearbook photos are this morning in the Campbell Center. There will be a list behind me on the screen. Give you a few minutes to look at that list to see if your name is on it. If your name is on that list, please make sure and get your picture made today. I'm assuming that those pictures are currently available, and we need them to get in the annual. So I'll give you just a couple minutes to look at that and see if your name is up there. 101 Words will meet for the final time this year on Thursday night at 7:30 in the Middlebrook basement. Come share your work. Hope to see more of you there. We have two visitors on campus today, Jaden Geddes from Waverly, Nebraska. Jaden, give us a wave. And Bryce Smith from Elgin, Iowa. And we want to offer our congratulations to Billy Damon, who was named the KCAC Pitcher of the Week this week. Announcement will be Jared Stark, and after he is finished with his presentation, we will be dismissing.
This mic today is a little bit sensitive. I am really honored to be up here today and present a couple of awards that to students that have really done a great job here over 4 years at York College. The male and female Student Athlete of the Year. Let me talk for a second about the criteria. There are 3 things that are important: academics, impact on team, and also impact overall on the campus. We kind of view those things kind of as 3 equal legs in determining our Student Athlete of the Year, which is voted on by sort of a cross-section of coaches and faculty and staff from across campus. So, without further ado, I'll tell you who the winners are. The Female Student Athlete of the Year for this year is Jolene Herzog. And the Male Student Athlete of the Year is Trevor Lanier.